So, in all reality, I'm relatively new to the John Wick franchise. I only recently watched chapters 1, 2, and 3 maybe 2 months ago. And let me tell you, I loved the first two. I liked the third one, wasn't crazy about it. It just felt long. I know this newest one was longer, but I could feel the runtime in chapter 3 for some reason. Anyway, I just saw John Wick chapter 4 last night, and I am here to tell you exactly why you need to go see this movie as soon as you can on the biggest screen possible. Chapter 4 is easily the best sequel in the franchise. Hell, I think it's my favorite John Wick film, period. Not only that though, it's one of the best action movies of the past several years and a huge victory for the action film genre. Honestly, I think the impact that this film is going to have on this genre is fairly similar to that of Mission Impossible Fallout back when that first came out. Chapter 4 seems to reinvent several elements that you know from modern action movies. You could also even draw comparisons to Mad Max Fury Road, which is something I've seen a lot online, and I definitely think I agree, especially when it comes to how revolutionary it was for the stunts, and you can apply that to the combat sequences, the shootouts, and all of the expertly shot practical fights here in John Wick Chapter 4. Now, going into this, if you haven't seen it, you might just think, is this just a big 3-hour series of fights? And yes, you would be right, but it never outstays its welcome. There is one scene in this film in particular that I've been calling the Hotline Miami scene, and if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, but you are familiar with Hotline Miami, you will know what I'm talking about. It's ostensibly John Wick fighting his way through a building, but the camera is top down following him throughout the house, and it's impeccably done. It looks gorgeous. The soundtrack is fantastic. The sound design in general is fantastic. The choreography throughout every fight sequence in this film is top-notch, chef's kiss. The director of this movie, Chad Stileski, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, I'm probably not, is also going to be making a Ghost of Tsushima adaptation, and after seeing this, I can't wait. That might be up there, like the Last of Us HBO show level adaptation when it comes out. Now, I won't lie, as much as I love this movie and as much as I've been gushing about it, it did feel a little exhausting near the end. Real quick, I want to say the true star of this film, it's not Keanu Reeves, not Bill Skarsgård, it's Stairs. Again, you will know what I'm talking about when you see this movie. I'm not going to spoil it here for you. I've already seen a ton of spoilers thrown around online, and that kind of pisses me off because this movie is fantastic and you deserve to go in not fully knowing where the story goes from here. But they really step up the action set pieces in this. You got John Wick in a gunfight on a horse, you got John Wick using nunchucks, you got John Wick using his suit jacket as a shield, which I completely forgot about the fact that most of their shields or their suits were bulletproof. Not only that, there was a full-on samurai fight sequence that was beautiful to see. The entire Osaka Continental section of the film was gorgeous to look at. The world established and built over the past few films leads to what you get in this new chapter in a wonderful way. That's not to say it isn't without a few shocking moments throughout, but you're not really relying on the writing in a movie like this as much as you are on the action. I have actually seen a few people on Twitter say that this movie relies too much on the action, and I don't think they could have missed the point more. Where have they been for the past almost 10 years that John Wick has been a thing? Which, by the way, saying that out loud, that John Wick has been around for almost 10 years is insane to me. But what the hell are you even watching or reviewing a John Wick movie for if you're going to complain about how much action there is? That being said, the action scenes never failed to keep me entertained anyway, and I'm sure you will love them just as much, so there's really no complaints on my end from something like that. Like I said before, but I'll say it again, the choreography, the camera work, the color grading, and the aesthetic of this film are as close to perfect as I think one could probably get. The final hour on its own of this film is also as close to perfect as one could probably get. Not only is John Wick Chapter 4 a thrilling experience, but certain side plots set up bring out a good amount of emotion, more than you would expect in a movie like this. There's a few new people in the film that actually steal a little bit of the spotlight, at least as much as they can with Keanu there, but of course course, John Wick is always the focal point. His journey throughout this franchise, throughout this film, is as well thought out as they come in a genre like this. Beyond some really very small issues that I had with the movie, this is near perfect in my eyes. Now, I saw this movie in IMAX, and I highly recommend, if you have the opportunity to do that, do it. Every punch, every gunshot, every explosion was incredible to see and hear in that theater. I am very curious to see where the franchise will go from here. However, I know there are some spin-offs planned. I know there's a spin-off starring Ana de Armas called Ballerina, which I believe Keanu Reeves is confirmed to appear in. I know there is a prequel series planned, I think for Peacock, called The Continental. I believe it's going to be following Winston's character as he's younger, working his way up through the hotel and something like that as becoming the manager. Like I said, I'm not going to spoil the ending of chapter 4 here, but the way it ends leaves it kind of up in the air on where they can go from here, at least for the mainline franchise of the film. I will see as many of these as they make. I believe Keanu Reeves himself has even said that he will keep making John Wick films as long as fans want to see them, and I, for one, want to keep seeing them. So if they make chapters 5, 6, 7, 8, I will be there day one in the theater to see all of them. So go see John Wick Chapter 4 on the biggest screen you possibly can. You will not regret it.